A North Texas mother says her son was mistreated inside his special education classroom. She sued the school district and won, but as Brandon Todd reports, she also reached a little bit wider than that and launched a personal mission to change laws in Texas to require cameras in certain classrooms if parents request them. More on this new law is Molly Perry from College Station ISD. She's the executive director for special services with the district. Molly, thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So what we really wanted to do is kind of look locally at this new statewide mandate and what it means for our schools and our students right here at home. So as an educator of students within special education programs, what's your reaction to this law in terms of having an extra eye possibly on some of these students in some of these classrooms?
Well, as an administrator within special education, we've been hearing for a number of years concerns across the state from certain parents of students with more significant disabilities about their safety. As far as the implementation, we are ready here locally to respond to those requests.
Absolutely. So you guys have a plan in place, and we will get to that in a second. Is part of it that some of these students within these programs are not necessarily as verbal as other students, so it's a little bit tougher for them to explain to parents what's happening?
That's exactly right. The way the law was designed and written was really for those students who have limited verbal and or cognitive capacity to report if there were any particular concerns regarding abuse or neglect.
Sure. So what are the potential benefits you see from having these cameras in classrooms?
Well, you know, I've seen over a number of years that sometimes there are situations that arise that require investigation, and having that footage available to review would really expedite that process in the event that there were concerns.
Sure. And so what we want to be clear about, and this is a document you're very familiar with, but I've just gotten my hands on, but it makes clear that if a camera were to end up in a classroom, it would be only because of a parent's request, and it wouldn't be there for constant streaming and monitoring. It would be there as a safeguard in case there was an incident and we wanted to look back. Why is that important?
Well, you're absolutely right that this really is very specifically upon request by a parent or a staff member that's involved, or even a school board member. And once those cameras are in place, we're monitoring and holding that data for up to 6 months by law. And if there are concerns, those requests can be made, and then we can go back and review and make a determination about whether or not there were any of the claims substantiated.
Absolutely. So along that same line, how does this help protect your educators in special education classrooms who are in general doing such wonderful work?
You're absolutely right. And honestly, our teachers in College Station, for the most part, have really welcomed this because they feel very comfortable and confident with the great things that are happening in their classrooms every day. And if there were an allegation, we would have very clear evidence to support the good work that they're doing.
Sure. So are you fairly confident that this won't change too much about how your teachers at College Station are doing their jobs?
That's right. It's definitely not an ongoing monitoring type situation. It's only in the event that we have concerns arise.
But some peace of mind for parents who may have concerns.
That is certainly the hope.
Sure. In terms of this budgetary, I don't know if we even call it an issue, but this is an unfunded mandate. The state is not offering any extra funds in the case of needing to put one of these cameras in there. Are there any concerns within the district? There's a plan in place for how to fund these if necessary?
Well, we do have some specific guidance that we are not allowed to use state or federal special education funds in order to fund these cameras. So they would have to be local dollars that are not allocated in terms of additional funding from the state. And so we will have to find a way to make that work in our current constraints.
Sure. If this comes up, which again, we want to be specific, cameras would only end up in these certain special education classrooms if a parent requests. Okay, well, Molly Perry, Director of Special Services with College Station ISD, thanks so much for shedding a little light on this and helping us understand how this really will be implemented, if at all.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, stick with us. We have a whole lot more First News at 4 coming up right after the break.